You will be, God will punish you. You will die. Your eyes will be open. For what you get to me and the shame you caused my family and I, you will suffer against you. You will suffer. You will die. Your generation.
Hello guys, this is your boy Golden Boy, and I'm really grateful that you have clicked on this video. Now, there's a time in Libya, some missionaries went to Libya for their missions, church missions. And then this man in that group found a woman in Liberia, got her pregnant, and the moment that she realized that this lady realized that this man had a first wife, this man wanted to cut her throat, wanted to kill her, and it to an extent that he cut her throat, that the stranger went and found out, guys. But the justice in Libya, the court of justice in Libya never took this thing serious. Now guys, I want you to listen to this video of this missionary. It is very, very interesting. Then I'll see you at the end of the video.
Remember the white man that was arrested in Liberia for attempting to kill his Liberian wife with a knife after she announced to him that she was pregnant? Last year, we covered the story of Richard Lucas and Jessica B. Lloyd in Liberia. Richard was said to be a missionary, a U.S. missionary working in Liberia, spreading the gospel and spreading the word of God. And if you remember the story, Richard was already married to an American woman. He had a wife. And it's almost as though his wife was also with him in Liberia running their missionary work, but probably in different parts of Liberia. Somewhere along the line, Richard meets Jessica, a Liberian girl, and he fell in love with her. And at the time, we got to learn that he ended up paying a bride price and doing all the rights to marry her. But to be fair, he did tell Jessica and her family that he had a wife already in the USA, but he told his wife about this because the wife can't give birth and the wife is, barren and all of those things. And they were like, okay, fine, why not? And Jessica still agreed to marry him. So towards the end of his missionary job in Liberia, while he was married to Jessica, Jessica revealed to him that she was pregnant. And he acted as though he was happy. However, though, we got to learn on multiple occasions that he tried to give her medication to flush the pregnancy out without her knowledge. So he was trying everything to get her to lose the pregnancy, but it all didn't work. And then this one time he took her in his car and saying that they should go around and chill. He was going to travel the next day back to the US, but he'll be back. He even agreed to get her an apartment, promised her everything, all the money in the world to buy her things and all of those things. And while they were in the vehicle, going back and forth, finding the perfect spots to stay and chill and talk, he even tried to coerce her to go into a cemetery so that they can go and look around the cemeteries, thinking this is one of those American movies where you walk into the cemetery to chill and have picnic. Not knowing the cemetery was not that kind of place. Somewhere along the line, this man pretended that his car had broken down and ended up dragging this girl into the bush, trying to use a knife to slit her throat. When passerby saw him, fought him, he was chased down and eventually arrested. However, he claimed that he did not do it, and he claimed that it was someone else that did it. Jessica survived it, and all of those bits, he was taken to court. And somewhere along the line, we don't know how the court proceedings went, but last week it was announced that he was found not guilty and had been set free. And in this video, you could see Jessica chasing him down and raining curses at him, swearing at him. It's not clear how he did it, but we kind of figured out that maybe he had a good defense lawyer, or maybe he paid his way out. After all, he is an American. And if the American government, or he has support from his American community, there's a chance that he could have gotten away with this. There's a chance that he could manipulate the law in Liberia not to be held accountable. But we don't know if they will appeal or if he will finally be set free and allowed to go back to his country. We don't know the deal there. But what we are getting to hear is that he was found not guilty. Part of why I think he was found not guilty is most likely because Jessica did not die eventually. And the truth is, given Liberia's history with finding justice for women who lose their life in weird circumstances in the hands of their men, especially foreign men, there's still a chance that even if Jessica had died, he would have still been set free. Because I don't understand what is going on in Liberia. Why foreigners are coming into your land to do this and then getting away with it. and I'm sure his lawyer was also Liberian. Well, it's weird and it's really sad. I don't know what the next step is. I read somewhere that the Liberian government will make sure he doesn't leave the country. I don't know why else they are holding him hostage, in case maybe they want to take it to the Court of Appeal. I don't know. Now that he has his freedom, I'm sure he would go back to his country. But this is just unfortunate. It's sad and it breaks my heart. But thank God Jessica is alive, because it could have been worse. She could have been dead and he would have still gotten free.
I need everybody to stop because we have an emergency story about Jessica Lloyd and Lucas Richard. Now, Lucas is a church minister from Iowa, representing this church.
Hi, this is Lucas and Lois Richard. Lois and I are privileged to be serving the Lord in Liberia in West Africa.
And Jessica is a student in Liberia with this organization. When these two met, they decided to hook up and she got pregnant. But there's way more to the story. Because not only did Lucas not tell her that he was already married, even though he was already bringing his wife to Liberia to help with the ministry work, as you can see right here. But he didn't tell Jessica's mom, and when she found out she was pregnant, she wanted them to get married, which they did. But then everything went south when his church reported that he was robbed, which wasn't true. When in fact, Jessica was the one that was hurt. Actually, she was almost killed by Lucas. Oh, and by the way, when he found out she was pregnant, he was injecting her with something that would cause a miscarriage, and he was successful.
They asked me to help her with $150 US, which I do monthly.
Now, he talks about how he gives her $150 every month to help her out, which I need you to keep in mind because that story won't add up in a minute.
I carried her to Hardell Supermarket. We bought cornflakes, we bought all of those things. From there, we decided that I could drop her. I don't have to take her back to her parents, and that I could drop her there because at Bonneville Highway, she would get motorbike and she would get back.
But I'm going to have to take it back because right before all this happened, he was already back in Iowa with his wife, and then he kept calling Jessica's mom and bugging her, being like, I gotta see Jessica, and then they finally agreed, and then he showed up and they took a little trip.
The first area where there was like coal tar that you could pull off on the main coal tar, I put my trafficators on. Because two things, she's getting a motorbike to go back home, and I needed to check my back right tire because I've been having a problem with that tire. And I could feel when I was driving that something was not correct. So while she was waiting for motorbike, standing on the coal tar, I'm down there literally trying to jack up my thing.
He's not mentioning is when Jessica got in the car, she was questioning why he had a knife, because why do you have a knife? And he was like, well, it's just in case I run into an animal or a snake or something like that.
She's standing on the side of the coal tar, and I'm standing there doing this with the jack thing, and next thing I know, a motorbike comes out of nowhere and hits her, and she goes into a ditch, because right after this coal tar is like a little extra coal tar on the side of the coal tar. Right after that is just a big ditch. Okay. The motorbike hit her, she fell backwards and rolled into that ditch. I think she even fell backwards and hit the edge of the coal tar because she had blood coming.
Yeah, that's not what the man on the motorcycle said, nor Jessica, but we'll let you finish your story first.
At that point, I leave what I'm doing and I go to check on her and help her out and ask her if she's okay. I bring her up onto the coal tar, and at this point, this motorbike driver that just hit her is yelling out to other motorbikes, KK, whatever they're driving by, and this big lorry, big red truck that was carrying, I don't know, a dump out truck, something like that, telling them that I hurt the girl, that I did something to the girl. Hallie was saying that they were yelling it out, screaming it out, and so they're stopping, and all these motorbike guys are stopping, and they're vexed at me.
Now remember, he's not bringing up anything about the knife, and Jessica has an entire, I can't say it, but it's too graphic to even show.
I'm walking around the front to go get in the car. She was walking around the front with me. She goes around the front, and she's coming to get in the car. Then, something goes through the window, and comes and hits me right here on the head. And when it hit me, I did like this on the steering wheel. And one of the guys took a big stick and started pounding. He came in front of the Land Cruiser and he started pounding on the thing. And so at this point, she's telling me to go. She would be okay as me then one because they think they're probably going to get money from me. Now
you know about that $150 I told you to remember? Listen up.
I had $400 US in my pocket. No, 350 because I gave her 150. I had $350 US in my pocket right here and some small in my wallet right here.
You said you had $400 in your pocket, but then you said, no, wait, you had 350 because you gave her 150. If I do math correctly, that doesn't add up.
So, I hit the gas and I started going. I didn't hit nobody. I even hit, before I put it in gear, I did like this so that it backed up. And then I went. And of course the motorbikes were following me. And the motorbike that hit her already had his motorbike out of the something. All I remember is that it was a red motorbike with a license plate in front. That's all I remember.
Okay, you said what you had to say. Now it's time to hear from Jessica.
Get out of the car. He took out the left. Big left. He said, you know, I felt a snake, so in case one see snake.
Now, I and many other people were having a problem understanding her accent, but plus the throat damage was probably definitely a big factor. But I found somebody who broke down what she said. So basically what it says is, Lucas pulled over to take a piss. When he was out there, he claimed that he saw a snake. He told Jessica he saw a snake and he told her to come out with the knife. And he told her to get closer, 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 and she was scared, but she came anyway. Once she got to him, she took the knife from him, bashed her on the back of the head and her throat. That's when the man on the bike showed up and handled Lucas, and then he called the rest of his crew to show up, and then Lucas ran away.
You met the women, or you open the car, going to again, the grass, and slaughtering again.
This is what he had to say.
At the time, what you talking about? When you saw the man, he was what again trying to. The man what again? I said the man what again? The slaughtering again. My one standing there. You got more about men up here, right? They can't whip it. Oh, you get the girl, the cat, dropping the grass.
So he's saying he saw Lucas hit Jessica, and she fell to the ground.
I won't catch that man alive. I want that man alive for reporting to the police.
For everybody that wants the church's information, here you go. And the church's website. And I want to make this one statement of, to all the churches who go to Africa to help the children, the way Lucas and the rest of you dehumanize these people so you can make some fucking money.
We thank the Lord also for a small group of believers that we're working with. These believers come mostly out of Islam. Most of them are illiterate, and so we're teaching them English as we teach through the Bible.
They don't need your language or your fucking Bible, so stop using African children just to make some fucking money. And if you want to talk about the history of Christianity in that fucking continent, then you're gonna have a long fucking day. My name's Eric Stone. Doses.
Yes, for a very, very long time, I've always known that missionaries are people who are always creative and are always people who are always polite. But to reach to a point that you want to take someone's life, I think it was not very, very good. This is a video that was trending some years back. And the lady never got her justice because I don't know what happened between those Liberian courts. Now, guys, do you think, because it is just coming to a point that long time ago there's a problem that was happening in Africa, and one of the problem is that in Africa these missionaries came to Africa and they gave us the Bible to pray, and the moment we prayed we closed our eyes. The moment we opened our eyes, we had the Bible, and the land and the resources and all the things that we owned in Africa were taken by these missionaries. Now, this is a case of missionaries, but long time ago it was all about the colonizers, and the colonizers are the people who happen to do this. Now, in this case, in this scenario, I have some of the things that I wanted to address in this video, and one of the things that I wanted to address in this video is that we as Africans, we have always wanted to be very, very polite and kind to our white people. And it is high time that we need to be very, very careful on people we interact with, especially if they are foreigners in your country. And to be very, very precise and specific, the white society. The white people have always have that kind-hearted mind. Like, they have always been welcomed in Africa. And this is something that is really, really happening for a very first time. And the person who did this was a church member. Actually, is it a Catholic? And guys, I want you to be very, very careful, especially to the ladies. I'm very, very specific to the ladies. The ladies always want these white mzungus. We as Kenyans, we call them mzungus, so that they can take advantage of them, get them pregnant, so that they can inherit some of their wealth in Europe or in Asia or in United States, guys. Now, I wanted to open your eyes and say that please, 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 the moment you see a white person, not all of them are always rich. Not all of them always have that money you are admiring from the white people. Like, we as Africans, we have always known that the black people, the white people in the academy of white supremacy, have always been known to be the people who are wealthy in the society. It is not all of them are always wealthy. And again, there are some of the white people who have always slept in the street, and they are really, really struggling to make their life stable in America. That's why you'll find that most of them always come to, after their retirement or after their little savings, they come to Africa, because in Africa, it is somehow cheap to spend their money on. Remember, the dollar in Africa, the dollar in United States and the dollar in Africa, these are two different money, because in Africa, like when you take for example in Zimbabwe you also have trillions of shillings, which is one note, and also again you'll find that there are 750,000 shillings, which is also one note. This means that the economy of Zimbabwe is very, very low. This is not the thing that I was talking about. The thing what I was talking about is that to the ladies, you need to be very, very careful of people who you interact with. Especially, I usually feel that you are always attracted to the white community. Again, it is not my issue to, but I'm only trying to open your eyes. The supremacy and the churches. This is something that is really, really happening. And do you think people need to start trusting the missionaries? Again, this happened in Libya. In Kenya, we have seen missionaries coming to Kenya and camping in Kenya, and even getting married to, or getting married to Kenyan people, and especially to the Luya community or the Bantu community, which is also okay. The only thing that I was trying to say is that, is missionary in Africa safe? Do you think they usually come to Africa for one purpose, spreading the gospel? Do you think so? And if it's so, you'll also have to give me your answers in the comment section, guys. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Golden Boy, and it is very, very devastating to see a missionary trying to, yes, that person, and again the Libya court not giving justice to this woman. See you in another episode. My name is Golden Boy, and I'm very, very grateful that you click, subscribe, and comment, and even share.